Hello folks, and welcome back to Whiskey Wars. My name is Sean, and tonight we're going to be doing another episode of How Much Should You Pay? Tonight we're looking at Weller Antique 107. Let's get into it. Okay, here's our bottle, Weller Antique 107. And yeah, I don't think there's anybody that hasn't heard of this. If you haven't, then I assume you're just new to bourbon, which is okay. But unless you live in Ohio, this bottle's going to be hard to find, probably. So let's go ahead and get some poured. Oh, well, that's right. It's got the like aluminum foil gold cap thing going on there. All right, let's get some of this poured and get into it. Because a lot of people love this. For some, it's one of their favorite Wellers. For some, it's one of their favorite bourbons, period. Let's see if it's worth all that hype or whatever you want to call it. First off, let's get into the nose. Nose is nice. Red fruits coming through pretty strong. Strawberry, cherry, maybe a little raspberry going on. Nice standard bourbon notes. Caramel, brown sugar, although the brown sugar is kind of on the lighter side. Very nice caramel note though. Nice kind of vanilla note. Nice toasty oaks. A little bit of sweet cinnamon spice. Just a light spice note. There's a little bit of sourness. Something like a yellow grape, green grape, whatever you want to call it. Kind of that note. There's certainly a dessertiness to this. Maybe something like a strawberry rhubarb or kind of a fruity dessert for sure. Yeah, nice nose. There is a little bit, just a hint of a sour oak note on the nose. But now let's get into the taste. Okay, red fruits up front for sure. Strawberry, cherry, raspberry, maybe even a blackberry in there as well, even though that's not a red fruit. There's also lots of just a general sweetness, very sweet. Nice caramel note, nice vanilla. It's a very prominent vanilla note. Very light toasty oak note on the palate. There is a little bit of spice, a little bit of kind of a sweet cinnamon spice mixing with all that stuff going on. So I think the finish is where you kind of pick up some youthy notes. There's a little bit of a sour oak, kind of a tannic, sawdusty note, I guess you would say, something along those lines. There is a nice caramel note there as well. There's also vanilla. But a lot of sour notes on the finish for sure. And overall, a nice experience for sure. But now let's talk about price. This is, if you can find it, generally in my area, this is a $60 to $65 bottle if you can find it at a store that charges, well, what Kentucky MSRP is. I know in Ohio you can get these things for like 50 bucks, something like that. But that's not what the rest of us are seeing very much. So, is it worth the 60 to 65? I think yes. But the problem is that a lot of us are seeing it for much higher than that. Sometimes ridiculous prices. I've seen these go for $200. Well, if they're going for $200, but they're marked at $200. That's probably more accurate. So, it's definitely not a $200 bottle. And here's why. Because there's too many other good wheated bourbons out now that compete with this really well. So things like Maker's 46 cask strength, I would say also regular Maker's cask, although it is cheaper, still probably decent competition. Rebel Distillers Collection, Rebel cask strength, the Rebel 10-year, although that is higher price point, but would certainly probably blow this away. But the Rebel cask strength is right around the same price point. That would certainly compete pretty well with this. Also, a lot of folks are talking about Old Elk and their wheated bourbon, and you can get those at more of a cask strength if you look for store picks. So there's a lot of good competition out there. I feel like I'm forgetting one. Nonetheless, let's deal with this bottle here. I think at $60, it's a good buy. I would buy it all day at $60. $50 is even a better price point if you're lucky and you live in Ohio. I think at $50 it does really well. At $50, it's definitely a buy. So that's kind of where I'm at. $50 to $60. If you're kind of new to this and you're not sure what to pay, that's where I'm at. 50 to 60 bucks, 65 if you have to, and that's kind of my cutoff. I just don't think the experience warrants a higher price point than that. I hope this video has helped you folks, especially if you're new to bourbon, you're not sure what to pay for this bottle right here. Hopefully this video has helped. If it did, hit that like button, please. Also, here's other reviews from us, so you can check those out, other great whiskeys and bourbons. Here's the subscribe button, so definitely hit that. And until next time, folks, just remember, you can never have too much good whiskey.